Hi, I'm Matt Werner of WaveMachine Labs, and in this video, we'll take a sneak peek at some of the new features in our upcoming Auria Pro. First, for anyone who's not already familiar with Auria, it's our digital audio workstation for iPad that combines multi-track audio recording, editing, and mixing, and includes optional effects processing from the likes of PSP, FabFilter, and F-Expansion. With Auria Pro, our goal was to really raise the bar and make the most powerful DAW available for iPad. So, we built a complete MIDI sequencer inside of Auria. We designed a real-time audio warping system. We made signal routing more flexible. And we even updated the graphic interface with an all-new look. Now I know everyone wants to see these new features in action, so let's jump in and take a sneak peek at Auria Pro. So here is the brand new look of Auria Pro. Overall, it's a darker and flatter design, which should be easy on the eyes during long recording sessions. At the top of the editor, we can see 3 new MIDI tracks, sitting alongside the usual audio tracks. Down here on the hi-hat track are some vertical lines, which represent the new warp markers. Switching to the mix window, we see the continuation of the updated graphics with a new color scheme and controls. And there's also some new bus choices for both inputs and outputs. The most anticipated addition has to be comprehensive MIDI sequencing. Auria Pro includes new MIDI tracks for both recording and editing MIDI, and will work with both internal and third-party iOS instruments. Out of the box, Auria Pro will include the analog-style Twin 2 synthesizer from FabFilter, as well as a WaveMachine Labs designed multi-timbral sampler, which will import and play multiple sample formats. Here we can see one of the new MIDI tracks. First, let's take a quick listen to this piano part. To edit this part, tap the piano icon to switch to the new piano roll editor. This view can be zoomed in and out just like the normal editor. Notes can be moved by tapping and dragging them, both left and right in time, and up and down in pitch. To change a note's duration, just zoom in and adjust the note's handle. Durations can also be quickly changed using this new pop-up in the upper left corner. When a note is selected, tapping these standard note durations changes that selection automatically. Up here is also where note velocities can be edited. Auria Pro displays different note velocities by color coding them, and changes can be made by tapping this number at the end of the pop-up and sliding a finger up and down. If I can move my finger out of the way, you should see the velocity of this note changing. Adding new notes to a MIDI part is really simple. Just tap and hold on the corresponding spot in pitch and time, and a new note appears. The new note will use the current duration and velocity setting up here in the pop-up box. Of course, multi-select works here just as you'd expect. allowing multiple notes to be selected and changed at once. Changing all their velocities. There is also built-in MIDI processing. Here's the list of what will be part of Auria Pro. Each of these functions can be run on any MIDI selection. Let's close the piano roll editor and switch over to the mixer window so we can take a look at one last part of the new MIDI features in Auria Pro. Tapping the Effects button on a MIDI track opens the new MIDI control window, where all of the important MIDI parameters can be set or changed. There's basic input and output and MIDI channel assignments here at the top. Standard controls for both MIDI volume and panning. And above those is the real-time quantizing section. Choose a quantizing grid value and use these knobs to adjust things like swing, strength, window, and all the standard quantizing values. And there's more than just a simple grid available. Switch tabs over to groove quantizing and select a new musical feel from the included DNA grooves in Auria Pro. Another big addition is real-time audio warping, thanks to our newly licensed elastic algorithms. Auria Pro will automatically detect transients when recording or importing audio and will create warp markers, which can be moved around in time to alter the rhythm and feel of audio parts. Here are a few drum tracks with a normal 4/4 feel. To enable warping on the snare, tap this new button found on its track. One tap displays the detected transients, which can be used for snapping and will make drum editing in Auria Pro even quicker. Tap again to enter warp mode on this track. Now, these detected transients have become movable markers, which can simply be tapped and dragged to new positions along the timeline. Let's go look. Here we go. Let's take this. We're stretching the underlying audio right along with this marker. And since the time stretching here is in real time, this track will instantly play back without having to wait for the audio to be processed. Let's zoom back out so we can see the whole project. One great way to make use of warping is with Auria Pro's new audio quantizing, which works just like this was a MIDI track, and can tighten up sloppy timings on individual tracks by automatically moving all of a track's warp markers. There are other new possibilities too, like automatically slicing up audio at transient markers, and converting transient markers to MIDI, to either paste onto new MIDI tracks or be applied to existing MIDI parts as new quantizing grooves. The last new feature we'll take a look at in this sneak peek is the more flexible signal routing available in Auria Pro. When Auria came out for iPad, it included some pretty useful mixing options, like 48 total tracks, 8 subgroups, and 2 aux channels. In Auria Pro, you will have up to 6 stereo aux channels, an unlimited number of tracks, and a more powerful way to route signal with the new bus system. New buses can be created and have multiple tracks assigned to them, including, for the first time, multiple output destinations for any track. Just select as many as you need. This bus can then be returned on either a subgroup or onto another audio track. And then that can also be sent off into yet another bus. Or return your aux channels onto audio tracks and insert additional processing, like adding an EQ after a reverb. And then route that reverb along with your drum tracks over to a drum subgroup. This new bus routing will allow much more flexible mixing options, like more powerful parallel processing, being able to mult tracks, and creating more complex aux mixes. So that was just a quick look at some of the big additions coming in Auria Pro. There are other improvements too, like a new editor for working with tempo and time signature changes. And there's also project templates, where frequently used setups can be applied to brand new projects. As we get closer to launching Auria Pro, keep a lookout for more detailed videos and tutorials coming your way. Both the Auria blog and web forums will be updating whenever new information is available. So in the meantime, thanks for watching this sneak peek at Auria Pro.